grand final. India and their story of semi-finals and finals. In the past, it was Australia, England, Sri Lanka, West Indies on a few occasions. Pakistan once, for the first time ever, South Africa have entered into the grand stage of world cricket. T20 World Cup finals, and their opponents are the mammoth team, the team that has 1.4 billion followers, fans, lovers, passionate people for whom cricket is a religion. The entire country will stop tonight or today, wherever you're watching from, on this big, big day, 29th of June 2024. Mark my words, it is going to create history. Welcome back to Uncommentary. I'm your host, Dev, and with me is my friend back, Narayanan, who missed the last episode because of work, but I'm glad he's back. Narayanan, before we talk about the finals, let's give a thought to the two amazing semi-final matches that we've had. South Africa on one side, very clinical. Restricted Afghanistan, the team that looked so passionate, so promising. A dream run that came to an end, unfortunately, in the semi-finals. You could see the fans weeping, but they won hearts. And South Africa, they were thorough, they were professionals, and they showed why they're on the top of the group that they were in. Not a single match lost. In fact, none of these two teams have lost any game. So tonight's going to be the night where one of them will go home disappointed. Your thoughts on the two semi-finals that happened? First, South Africa versus Afghanistan, and you're on the other hand, India, in a way, kind of took a sweet revenge against England, who defeated them without losing a wicket in the T20 semi-finals in 2022 in Australia. The stage is yours.
Aptly put, Devang. If you see both the semi-finalists, you want the two best teams to compete in the finals, isn't it? And it's the two best teams in the finals eventually, because both these teams are unbeaten so far. So one of the teams' streak is going to come to an end. It's going to be a heartbreak for one of the teams. But that said, South Africa has had a topsy-turvy tournament, even though they are unbeaten. They have had some nail-biting finishes against Nepal. They've had some dominating wins as well against top teams like the Windies. And on the other hand, India has had a conservatively easier way into the Super 8s, seeing their group stages. But with one of the matches being washed out, so no result over there. Uh, but India has also had the players initially were out of form, but that was more than enough for the team to sneak through and grab a win. Um, but now, as we slowly move into the business, into the tournament, you can see that the main players are coming back into form, like the Hardiks, the Surya Kumars. Shivam Dube is still woefully out of form. Uh, Jadeja is getting some runs as well. Virat is out of form, but then Rohit is having his back by scoring some important runs at the top. Pant is being a bit reckless, but that's being Pant. So Bumrah is bowling exceptionally well. Kuldeep and Aksar are bowling really well. So Arshdeep's pressure is being absorbed by these three. So overall, it's like a mix and match for India. If you look at South Africa, the middle order is considerably strong. You will have the likes of Klaassen, Stubbs, Markram, Miller. these four in the IPL have clobbered every bowler possible. So if these guys come and you will see the likes of Aksar and Kuldeep bowling and Arshidi bowling against these three sometime down today, you would want to see how.
I'll pause you over there. Let's go back to the two wins that we've had, that we saw: South
Oh
Africa
yeah,
versus
yeah,
Afghanistan and India versus England.
yeah,
Before
yeah.
we
So
move on to the next
South
match, yeah.
Africa was Afghanistan. Afghanistan had a brilliant series. I mean, it unfortunately came down to an end with 56 all out, which was the anticlimactic way of getting
Pretty
knocked out of a World Cup. But then
anticlimactic, yeah.
it's South Africa as well on the other side. So I'm very happy for Afghanistan for what they have achieved and what they have performed, and for the future generations as well. And Afghanistan has an upcoming home series against Bangladesh, with the home ground being in Noida, which BCCI has allotted. So that's a great thing coming as well. And yeah, this will only improve them further. I mean, all this while when we talk about the minnows, I think the minnows tag is now no more associated with Afghanistan. They are pretty much on the same level, par as every other Asian team competing in the Asia Cup or from the Asian subcontinent. So Afghanistan is right up there. And you could also see another Asian team coming up very soon, Nepal. They had a
Hmm.
tremendous World Cup as well. They're tight matches, but then it didn't go their way. But then, yeah, this is just a start for them. So it's good for the game eventually. And on the other hand, India England, it was a great match. We 2 years back in Adelaide, it was a drubbing of 10 wickets. But then that was a batting wicket. The bounce was good. In this case, it was a England put India into bat. So uh, we posted a really good score of 171, and I believe that was because of the partnership of Surya and Rohit in the middle, followed by the end partnership of Hardik and Jade- Jadeja. So yeah, England, if you see, once the reverse sweep came out at 20 runs when Butler gets out, I think England pretty much knew they were up, and they had to score, but they didn't know the shots because the lines of the bowlers were kept so sharp and straight right onto the stumps. They didn't get any room. So to create shots, it was very proving very difficult, and to get boundaries is even more difficult. They did get eventually the odd boundary here and there, but then you see they were about 65 for 5 and 88 for 8. So you could see where this was going. So they were nowhere in the picture. This victory was actually a drubbing. It's not just a victory; it was a drubbing. You should have reading the conditions and playing the match as per that was the main focus of both the captains, which Rohit took super advantage of.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Now, moving on, the next match, the big stage, India versus South Africa. Who, according to you, will be the players to watch out for, players to look out for? South Africa first.
Uh, Man, South Africa's team is really strong in white ball cricket. Whom to watch out for? I mean, Miller, Klaasen, Stubbs in the middle, on the top, Quinton de Kock, Jansen, the
Pretty much the
all-rounders,
entire
bowling.
team.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Jansen, the bowling all-rounder,
One
and
goes, in
Andre
comes the
Noppy
other.
and Shamsi. Yeah, I mean, Shamsi and Kuldeep pretty much uh, are the two Chinamans for the two teams. But then Kuldeep, I would believe, is better rated compared to Shamsi.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a huge, deep batting lineup as well as a good bowling lineup.
Yeah. And now, India. We know Rohit Sharma has been tremendous form this season. Um, Also, Surya. Sky coming into form at the right time, right moment of the series, and Pant being reckless, like you said previously. Jadeja getting some runs under his belt. So did Akshay Patel in the last match. Akshay Patel has had some pretty good run, whether it was his bowling and in the last match his batting, contributing with some important runs, and also in the field taking some fascinating catches that we saw against Australia. Um, these are the people, and of course, Jasprit Bumrah, who's the leader of the pack, and he's got Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav, who can turn the ball around and create problems for the batters. Virat Kohli, on the other hand, hasn't had a great run. He would be absolutely craving to make runs. So would Shivam Dubey. Now, we know people have been uh, expecting him to perform. He hasn't been able to live up to the standards, to the name that he's created, and the reason why he's been selected in the side over the likes of Sanju Samson. But I believe, come at the hour, these two people and also Rishabh Pant should do some magical if India were to lift this cup, this trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Virat has been woefully out of form. Rishabh Pant being absolutely reckless. But there's a very important point over here I would like to make is that the impact of Akshar Patel in the batting as well as in the bowling has absorbed the lack of form of Jadeja, which is not reflecting as much. Because if you see, the number of overs that Jadeja has been bowling has been very ineffective. He's been actually out of form, barring the last couple of matches where he's got some runs under his belt. But he's been in lack of form in T20 cricket. So the form of Akshar and Kuldeep have actually absorbed the lack of form of Jadeja, which is not very much visible. So that is one point I would like to highlight. And yeah, Virat and Pant would also like to come back into the runs, and what better way than the final of a World Cup? But then it all depends, would India bat first or would India bat like to chase and take the pressure? So I would like to also see how is South Africa approaching the final. Would they like to bat first and post a target and get the opposition under pressure in the chase, or were they really comfortable chasing? Because if you notice, India, barring one match, I think they have batted first in the entire tournament. Whereas that's not the case with South Africa. So South Africa has played both styles and won eventually. But yeah, uh, it will be an interesting toss and strategy to see how do they approach. I think Virat would prefer chasing in a game, but then I think seeing Rohit being comfortable batting first, I believe India would like to bat first. So yeah, it all depends on the toss. South Africa may uh, win the toss and say we'll bat first, and then
Mm,
put the cat
yeah,
among the pigeons.
yeah. I believe India should bat first, either win the toss, because that's that has been the strength that they've showed in this World Cup. But having said that, I'm sure with the likes of the talent that we have, this team is capable of chasing a given total, and on their day, they can chase down even 200 plus. We'll not go there. Let's hope we get a good final. Not sure what the weather prediction is going to be. They said it might rain. We don't know. We have a reserve day for the final. So if the game
Yep.
gets washed out today, tonight, um, match will be played tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully we get the result tonight, today, and
And
hope.
the beauty of this is South Africa has never qualified for a final of a World Cup ICC
Yeah,
event ever.
yeah.
So
First timers.
the perennial chokers of cricket versus the last 10 years chokers of cricket. So it's a movable force versus a stoppable object. So who's going to keep the rut going versus who can break the rut?
Yeah. So India has had the experience of being in finals on so many occasions in different types of formats, whether it is the Test cricket, whether it is 50 over 1 days, or whether it is T20. India has had that experience. South Africa
Mm.
don't have that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
both the teams will be hungry,
And both the
hungry to
captains
perform.
are also really good, really thinking captains, reading the game, the awareness of the game situation, and playing it accordingly, making the right decisions. So it's aptly also the two best teams. It's also the two best captains of the World Cup as well.
Yeah. Your predictions? I'm going for India, of course. It's high time. Indian fans are
Hmm.
hungry, are praying. They are pretty much crying. This is desperate moment for Indian fans. They want to live that moment to see their favorite men in blue win and lift that trophy. Who are you rooting for?
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for India. And if you ask me who are the favorites, I think 55% India to 45% South Africa. It is going to be a tight match.
Mm.
It's not as simple as it sounds.
We will see if this set of men in blue are able to create another magic, or if they are able to create a game and pull it towards them,
Yeah.
if they are able to pull out a heist in Barbados as they pulled out at the Gabba, in Mumbai, at the Lords, at the Champions Trophy final in London under Dhoni, at in South Africa under Dhoni. So
At the
many good
MCG,
matches at the MCG. So many matches to remember and give a fantastic performance tonight. We leave you with that, and we hope to come again and celebrate India's victory. I don't want to say anything, but we want to pray for India to win.